Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really excited about today's guest, Jasper, and he's all about financial literacy, sound financial habits, financial planning, disrupting generational poverty. He's founder and CEO of Building Wealth, and today's topic is going to be all about finances. So I'm really happy to have him on the show. And Jasper, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here and to have this conversation with you today.
And I love how people are creating these movements. It could be mini, micro, all talking, trying to make the world a better place. And that's what you're doing. So tell people about your experience and journey to get them inspired for the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, it was always this thing of curiosity for me. It was money makes the world go around. Money touches everything that we do. And I was just curious about like how does this stuff work and why is it so important and what do these terms mean? And so I delved into financial services right out of college and just ever since that time, I mean, we're talking 15 plus years, like I'm constantly learning. And anybody will tell you that you need to always be learning or else you probably need to leave this earth. Like so constantly be working to learn more. And it was just what what is stopping people from being financially great? And so over my years, I've learned that people don't have a financial planner or counselor or coach that they work with. They continuously have this kind of frame of mind where it's like, I don't believe I deserve the wealth and the riches and an emergency fund. Like they just don't believe. And so when you mix in like the technical stuff, but with the behavioral, the psychology of money, you get this perfect little like soup. And some people just haven't figured out like here are all these ingredients that have gone into making up who you are today and how you like relate to money, how you talk about money, or how you don't talk about money. Like there's that fear, there's that anxiety, and so I learned over years is that I had to start unpacking a lot of those thoughts and feelings and beliefs about money before I could even talk about financial planning, building an emergency fund, helping somebody with their credit, talking about retirement. It was just, what do you think about this? Or how do you feel, or why do certain financial topics make you feel a certain way? And so it was always this balance of, okay, let's not get too technical, but let's also not make them feel bad for where they are. And so I've kind of had to, bridge these two areas of financial services or financial planning is taking into account somebody's lived experience. And, I never judge a book by its cover, but I'm always hopeful that once I can get the actual story and open up that book and start to peel back those layers of an individual,
Uh-huh.
then it's very easy to help them progress once they open up. Now, if they don't open up, it's not much I can do. I tell people to I'm open and transparent about what I can and can't do for people. And what I ultimately think about is nobody dream or fantasizes about being broke or poor. Everybody dreams about being rich, wealthy, being well off, being quote unquote comfortable. But if we dream and fantasize about all that stuff, we've got to start taking the actions to make that become a reality.
Yeah, and money is such a sensitive issue, and I'm similar to you. I always just wanted to figure out how it works and why certain people had it and certain people, people
Mhm.
didn't. And it's brought me down a rabbit hole to talk to all these different individuals such as yourself and how it works and the peel back the layers as you said. So one thing is talking about is accessible financial education. Schools don't really teach this.
Yes.
It's a really critical tool for empowerment, and yet access to knowledge is limited and often restricted in underrepresented communities. So, how does your Build Wealth movement work to bridge this gap, and what resources do you recommend for those looking to educate themselves?
Yeah. So, I mean, the bridge was really built because I joined like a financial services firm out of college and I'm licensed to do insurance and investments. But I realized that the people that I actually wanted to serve were not walking through that door. That they weren't coming to the information sessions. They tend to avoid people like me. But I've done a lot of community work, and I would always ask questions of why is it that you avoid somebody like me who's trying to help? And the first response was always, well, I just feel like y'all trying to sell something. Well, yes, the world is trying to sell stuff at you or to you every single day. We're marketed, so much it's ridiculous. And so I kept listening to what the community was saying, but then I was watching how financial organizations move and operate. And so you can see the disconnect. They were not going to certain zip codes to this day. Certain financial institutions will never have a physical presence in certain neighborhoods. And that is very intentional as the word. And so on the flip side, with the advancements of technology, everybody has a smartphone today, generally speaking. Most people have access to a phone. Mm-hmm. And what I found is that a lot of times we're not spending the time consuming the free information that is literally at our fingertips. I love YouTube University. It's not an accredited institution, but my God, if you type in how to, you can learn a ton. But nobody's excited about going to YouTube to watch educational videos, or at least there aren't a lot of people. Like most people are leveraging technology because we need an outlet. Like we look at a lot of stuff that isn't really helping our bottom line, not progressing us as a family or a person. We just want to have fun and look at silly stuff. And that's okay. You need some of that too. There's a balance. But for people to say, I didn't know, I cringe because I'll see their phone in their hand. And like, how much time do you spend on that phone trying to educate yourself? And granted, I know that everybody online isn't giving out great information, but it's information nonetheless. So the issue now has become in some of these underserved communities, they're only getting maybe one person's opinion. So if you've done community work, they may only know you and your expertise or your skew on the industry. And so I would say, and I say this to this day, don't believe anything that I'm telling you. Go out and check with at least 2 other sources to see if I'm full of it. And I literally will challenge anybody to say, I'm very objective is what I'll say. There's a lot of products and solutions for everybody out there, but do you know which one you need? Mm-hmm. That's the question that a lot of people cannot answer. And unfortunately, technology and social media and the media and your friend, they push stuff on you, just push versus what do I need to really help me? I need to pull in certain types of information or consume other types of information so I can make the decision that's in my best interest.
Yeah. You brought up so many important points because you were talking about earlier that there's so many barriers, before you can even start helping them, like, sound financial habits, they have to overcome like generational, they have to overcome, kind of maybe, the stories passed down to them. They have to overcome, discrimination and yes. Racism and, just the media trying to just like, extract value and just giving them, really bad information. So, a lot of these communities, they just tune out and just be like, yeah, you don't, it's like people just, they don't care. They don't vote for presidents anymore. It's like, yeah. This doesn't apply to me, even before you even start working with them, so it's like, what are the first steps individuals in these communities should take to overcome these barriers and start building wealth?
The first question is, where is it that you want to go? And if somebody can be honest with me and answer that question, my follow-up question will be, well, what have you done to help you get there? So where are you right now? And that's essentially taking inventory, good, bad, or indifferent. Do you know where you currently stand? Next question is, where do you want to go? And then the third is, let me see if I can help you based on what you just told me. It's literally those 3 steps with every interaction. Because if you lie to me up front, I'm gonna give you bad advice. So you've got to be the person to say, okay, I'm ready and I'm willing. Because I'll say this, a lot of people are interested in doing something better for themselves, their family, their community. They're interested. How many of you will commit? A commitment means you are in and you will do what it takes. But I, as a practitioner, I can't make you do it. You're grown. Unless you have some physical or mental disabilities, then I'll give you a pass. But if you are in your right and I ask you some simple questions that you can answer, I can guarantee that things will get better. I don't know how long it will take because life will always happen and get in the way. But I can guarantee that if you can be honest and transparent up front, work with somebody, doesn't have to be me, I can guarantee things will get better over time.
Yeah. So a lot of gems. And the other thing is, just talking about we have supercomputers in our hands like
Yep.
24/7. And
Mm-hmm.
people are using it for porn or just education, entertainment, but you're very intentional in how you use technology. And so this idea of talking about is you help people change the way they think and feel about money and talk about how this translates into the work that you do with your clients.
Yeah. I came up with that phrase because if I can't change the way you think and feel about money, I'm useless to you. Like I'm useless. Doesn't matter how well I speak, how well my presentation, how well my pamphlets are. It's irrelevant because you're not in the right frame of mind to move forward. Or there's so much baggage, there's so much trauma, there's all that emotional stuff that's built up over the years. If I can't help to break that, again, whatever I'm telling you today is going to be useless. And I tried not doing that and I got horrible results. And so I would come to a meeting and tell somebody I'm a financial planner. I do this. Here's my list. And I was just talking to a wall because everything I was saying was just boop, boop, not sinking in. But when I adjusted my approach, it was okay, let me see how you feel about money. Let me see how you think about things, how you process information that's financially related. And so then I would do a little more, we'll call it fact finding, discovery of how are you thinking and feeling about these topics or topic. And then I had to adjust my approach. And so I think uh, experience taught me to ask better questions up front before hopping into the business at hand.
Mm.
Doesn't work for everybody. Some people are just bottom line, get to the point. I like those too because they know what they want. But a lot of people aren't quite sure what they want, or they've done some things, but they don't know whether they're good or not. And so I would say, look, let's just talk it through. And I joke sometimes. I joke, but it's kind of true. I sometimes have financial therapy sessions. Literally, they're not laying on a couch in a room with me, but I will say, just tell me where it hurts. Tell me where this all started. How did we get here? And I'll find myself asking more of those like feeling questions because once that stuff starts to come out, I mean, usually it ends up with them laughing or sometimes they cry, but you never unpack that emotion. And that could be the barrier or the roadblock that's stopping you from being great or being better than you are right now. So it is kind of taking that time to get to know the person. I know it sounds cliche, but that's why everybody who does financial coaching talks about the mindset. Literally, I could throw information at you every single day, but if you're not in the right frame of mind to receive the message, I've just been wasting my time sending you good information because you don't deem it to be good information.
Yeah, and I really love the work that you're doing because there's a very important because there's a wealth gap and it's getting more and more like
Mm-hmm.
rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer and it's I'm not sure if it's by design or how the system is structured, but and I love how you're going in and you're going into these communities and trying to help people and like getting them better at budgeting and telling them how to improve their credit scores. And the thing about money is it's not rocket science. It's like it's habits. It's like
Yeah.
if you eat better and you work out, you'll be in better shape, you're better health. And the same thing with money is like if you save it and you invest it well, people think it's like, oh, I gotta triple my investment in one
Yeah.
day, and it's like they come with these unrealistic expectations. So
You said a key word, habits. We've all got some bad habits that we probably need to get rid of, but we're human. So it's how do I how do I balance or improve on some of the good habits or create better habits and do away with the bad habits? Again, some things you just may not change, but if it's to your detriment, like if your life is on the line, and I always say, like, I don't need to have a heart attack to want to improve my health. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Somebody has a life altering, like a stroke, a heart attack, and then they want to become a fitness, guru. Did you need to almost die to change your life? Again, I'm not saying you got to be a model. I don't care if you don't. I don't know if I'll ever have a six pack again. I got a good 4 on a good day. But do I need 6? Do I need 8? Like, I'm not a model. But like so you said, I can eat better. I can drink water. I can get my proper rest. So it's finding out where you are today, but then understanding. And I think this is the unfortunate side of social media is that we're trying to compare ourselves to everybody online who we
Yeah.
don't know, who doesn't know us, who, again, they're just a talking head who has cool pictures and videos. You don't know their real life. You just see maybe it's a character, maybe somebody that's not even them. That could be an actor, an actress. So we're always trying to compare ourselves to somebody else. But ultimately, and I tell this to my clients and to anybody, I'm trying to run my race for my family. I am married with a daughter. So I know that my household needs to run in a certain way. Yes, we're going to look and acknowledge what's going on around us. Like, we're aware, but ultimately we've said to ourselves, what is it that this family needs to do for our overall health? And that's financial health, physical health, and mental health. And I look at all 3 of those. Although I'm not a mental health expert or a physical health expert, I know that those 2 are just as important as the financial health, which is where I focus. So I try in any engagement to really figure out if your physical health isn't right, your mental and your financial might not be a great order. Or
Mm.
if you've just been getting by, at some point it will come tumbling down. And that's what I'm trying to avoid, is these major disruptions in our lives because of some bad habits that we couldn't shake, some practices that we've had in place because our family's always done it this way. But has that always resulted in the things you wanted? If you're getting the rewards that you want, stick with it.
Yeah.
Most people aren't getting what they want, but yet aren't willing to change. And so then brings us back to how we think. You told me you want to do better, but now I'm seeing the actions not line up. Let's talk about it. What are we
Yeah.
doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? And honestly, man, it's funny because I get people to laugh about it. And that's the key. If I can get you to laugh at the silly stuff you do, like, you're the issue. Yes, you can blame society. You can blame your spouse. You can blame your kids, your dog. You can blame anybody. But it's hard for people to look themselves in that mirror and say, it is me. It's hard to get people to do that.
Really fascinating discussion, and I really love the work that you're doing. How can people find you, contact you, check your social media out, etc.?
Yeah, I would have people go to thebuildwealthmovement.com. So that's thebuildwealthmovement.com. A lot of great resources and tools on the website. Feel free to take a look at the blog section. I've written a lot because I have a unique perspective because I've been in the industry for 15 plus years.
Yeah.
Not saying my way is the only way, but maybe you might learn a thing or two by checking out some of those articles. If people want to get in touch with me, there's a contact us section at the bottom. And so for anybody who visits the website, fills out the contact us, I'll give you a complimentary half hour just so we can have a discussion to see where you are, where you want to go, and if I can be of service. So thebuildwealthmovement.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at the website, thebuildwealthmovement.com, at Mr._build wealth on Instagram.
I love that. I love how you talked about staying in your lane. Just you're using money as a resource and not as a status or a power play. And I love that. And we need more individuals such as yourself doing this type of work. And be sure to follow all on social media, give them like and follow. And I love this movement. And with that, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.